Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Student, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, student? Yes, okay. So let's start the class. So I already discussed with you the quality management in a previous class, right? So is there any question, anything you want to ask from the quality? I discussed with you the individual process of quality management. Yes, quality planning, quality control, quality assurance, right? Benchmarking, quality auditing, quality control. There are three individual processes of quality management, right? There are some tool and techniques for quality control. I discussed with you this topic. There are 7 basic tools of quality. I discussed with you this slide in a previous class or no? There are 7 basic tools of quality. These are the 7 basic tools of quality. Number 1 is the cause. I discussed with you in a previous class, student. No, if no, so I'm going to continue from this slide. Yes, let me know. No, okay. So I'm going to start the 13 slides. The remaining slide previous already I discussed with you in a previous class. Now there are 7 basic tool of quality that will help you to improve the quality. If you are missing something in your product, so these tool will help you to maintain the quality, to increase the quality. 7. There are many other tools, but here in your course there are 7 basic tools. The first tool is called cause and effect diagram. Second, quality control. Third is check sheet, scatter diagram, histogram, Pareto chart, and flow chart. So I am going to take one by one, right? And inshallah, I will try to finish quality management chapter today, and I will start the risk management inshallah today. So take it seriously. If you have any doubt, immediately you ask me. Now I am taking the first tool for quality, that is called cause and effect diagram. How it helpful, how it improve the quality, I am going to tell you. I am going to read some definition, then I will explain you with the example. Here he is saying trace complaint about the quality problem and back to the responsible production operation. Suppose your product is in the market, you are making any product, the customer or the stakeholder is facing the problem, so he will complain to you. So you will receive the complaint, means what type of complaint is coming in my product, number one. Once the complaint will come, so how you analyze and how you will find the solution of that complaint. If you can do it, then you can improve the quality. So cause and effect diagram is the most important. In other words, they help to find the root cause problem. The most important cause and effect diagram is to reach on the root cause. If you reach on the root cause problem, so you can get the best solution to improve the quality. This is cause and effect diagram is also known as fishbone or skiva diagram. You can also use techniques that is called 5 whys techniques. Cause and effect diagram, that is the 5 whys come, means suppose you are going to find the mistake, you ask 5 times the question, you repeat, which you repeat, ask the question, why this, why that, many times you ask 5 times of questions. That will help you peel away the layer of the symptoms that can lead to the root cause. Then you can find the root cause of the problem. When you ask the question, why the people are complaining, why this is mistake, why this is, you ask 5 times why to you, 1 2 3 4 5, you repeat it, you ask the question to yourself, to your people, those who are working, are involved in your product. you ask the question 5 times, why is 5 times, you will get the answer. You will reach on the root cause of the problem. When you ask 5 times, you will reach on a root cause problem. You will get the root cause problem. Right here, I am going to tell you a sample cause and effect diagram. This is a cause and effect diagram. Here is saying this diagram created to discover why user cannot log in into the system. What is the why the user who want to log in the system, so why he is not able to log in the system? Why? Now I am going to this diagram list the main area that could be the cause of the problem: hardware problem, user hardware, software, or the user is not trained. Right? So using 5 why techniques, you could first ask why the user cannot get into the system, then why they keep forgetting their password, why they did not reset their password, why they did not check the box to save the password. So you can ask why, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ask 5 times the whys, you will reach on the root cause of problem to get, then you can get the solution. If you will not reach on the root cause problem, you cannot get the solution. The problem will generate again and again. So this is the best diagram, that is called cause and effect diagram, to reach on a root cause problem. Once you reach on the root cause problem by using 5 why, then you can get the solution and you can improve the quality. This is the first tool for improving the quality. Now I am going to discuss with you the second one. Second one is called quality control chart. A quality control chart is a graphical display of data that show the result of a process over time. Quality control chart allow you to determine whether a process is in control or not control. Process is in control or not control. If it is controlled, when the process is controlled, any variation in the result of the process are created by a random event. Right? Process that are controlled do not need to change or adjust because the process is in control. So no problem. It means the quality is maintaining. Quality is not decreasing. When the quality is decreasing, when the process is out of control. So when a process is out of control, variation in the result, different type of result will come. The process are caused by non-random event. You need to identify the cause, means reason of those non-random event and adjust a process to correct it or eliminate it. Suppose you are using a laptop, right? In your laptop, suppose the virus came in your laptop, right? So there are two options: either you install the antivirus, clean your system, scan your system. Otherwise, if you are not doing, then you will format your system. There are only two things: either it correct process or you eliminate it. Then you can improve the quality. This is the second thing, that is quality control chart. The third one is called check sheet or checklist. Is the best way. You write the point, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You maintain. A check sheet or list is used to collect and analyze the data. It is sometimes called tally sheet or check sheet, depend on its format. Note that the tally marks are used to enter each data manually. Each data occurrence manually. This is a check. I'm going to tell you. The sample of the check sheet is, as we can see in the figure, most complaints arrive by the text message. Suppose your product is in the market, right? Right? So people are complaining. They say this is the problem I am facing in your product. So you see, when you receive, in which day you receive the maximum complaint. When the weekday start, the first day of the weekday is Monday. Most of the countries start from the Monday because Saturday and Sunday is the holiday. But in Middle East, Friday and Saturday is holiday and it is start from the Sunday. So you can write it here, the Sunday. This is the Sunday is the first day in Middle East, right? So now Monday, Sunday. Monday is the first day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday and Sunday is the holiday. I am taking for this example. You see the maximum complaint you registered, it is in the first day of the weekday. Then the complaint reduced, then the complaint is decreasing, then the complaint is decreasing. and you see especially in the weekend the complaint become very less nominal, right? So you maintain this thing. When you maintain, here is saying, as you can see in the figure, most complaints arrive by the text message, and there are some complaints especially on the Monday and Tuesday, then are other day of the week. So this information might be useful in improving the process of handling the complaint. The checklist is used for this purpose, right? A scatter diagram is help to show if there is a relationship between two variables. The closer data point are diagonal line, the more closer of the two variables are related. Now here you can see this is the x-axis and this one is the y-axis. If the data is coming from here, this is called the positive. If the data is coming from here to here, this is called negative correlation. If the data is random like this thing, neither from here or not, this is called no correlation between them. So by this you can also maintain the quality, you can improve the quality. There are some different type of tool, right? Different company use a different type of tool. Now the fifth one is called histogram. Histogram is a bar graphic of distribution of the variable. Each bar represent an attribute or characteristic of a problem or situation, and the highest of the bar represent its frequency. Like I am going to show you one example. You can see this example. This is the result of the student. I am going to maintain in the histogram. Suppose there are 100 students in my 3344. Suppose, right? How many student is getting A plus? How many B plus? What is the range? So the range is start from 0 to 100 marks. From 0 to 100. Now this is the student and this is the data or grades or points, right? So how many students are in the range from 0 to 10? How many students in the range of 10 to 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, 60, 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, 90, 100? How many students is in between 90 to 100? And how many students is getting the maximum? Here you can see the majority of the student, more than 50, they are get in the range between 50 to 60. So this is a graphical representation, easily everyone can understand. You don't need to go in the data and check Excel file and this file and that file, then analyze. No, easily you can understand. This is also improved. Then you can analyze by seeing this diagram. You can analyze how I change my plan, how I can change my strategy, that student comes in the next bar here, or this student come here, the percentage of this thing will increase. This, right? Now few students are in this, so how they can increase the bar from here to here, right? Then you can analyze and improve the quality of the student. The sixth one is called Pareto chart. Pareto chart is a histogram that can help you to identify and give the priority of the problem. There are many problems, but which problem you will give the first priority, second priority, third priority. Pareto analysis is also known as what? 80-20 rule. The meaning of 80-20 is that 80% of the problem are frequently due to the 20% of the cause. Right? 80% problem are coming because of the 20% reason. Reason is just 20%. But because of this 20%, the 80% problem are coming. I'm going to show you this. This is a sample of Pareto chart. Right? Now here you can see in this I'm reading, then I will explain you. For example, suppose there was a detailed history of the user complaint about the system. Most of the users are complaining about the system. The project team could create a Pareto chart based on their data. That means team is receiving the data from a different people, right? And then they notice that the login problem are the most frequent user complaint, followed by maybe this problem is because of the system locking up, maybe the system being is too slow, maybe system is being too hard to use it, and maybe it repeat being inaccurate, not accurate. So the first complaint, the maximum people, system being locking, that is the 55% of the total complaint. There are 100 complaints, but in 155% that is related to the system locking. The first and second, when you combine the complaint, this becomes the 80%. Means system being and system is slow. So why this 80% problem is coming? Then they analyze, and this 80% problem is because of the 20%. What is the 20%? Therefore, the company should focus on making easier login system. Once you make easier login system, then 80% problem is automatically solved. That improves the quality, right? Because most complaint falls under that category. So the company should also address why the system lockup, because the figure shows that inaccurate report are a problem that is rarely mentioned. The project manager should investigate, find who made this complaint before spending a lot of effort on addressing the problem. The project manager should also find out if complaint about the system is being too slow. This is the second one, first one and second one. You can see this is the first one and this is the second one problem, right? They are too slow. Were actually due to the user not being able to log in the system lockup, right? So there are, here you can see login in problem is system lockup, system is too slow, second one, system is hard to use, and report is inaccurate. If you make this 20%, then you can improve the 80%. So this Pareto chart is the rule of based on 80-20 rule. 80% problem are because due to the 20% of the reason or cause, right? This is the sixth one. Now I'm going to discuss with you the seventh one, that is called flow chart. You all are familiar with this word. Flow chart or algorithm. Flow chart are a graphical display. Here you are using some symbols, right, of a logic and flow of process that help you to analyze how the problem occurs and how the process can be improved the quality of the product. They show activity, decision point, and order of how information is processed. Here you can see the sample of this flow chart shows the process a project team might use to accepting or rejecting a delivery. The delivery acceptance request, it goes to the next step. Route to appropriate decision makers. Accept. Yes, if it is just to move in this direction. Sign approved section and notify request and log in the system. If no, then you have to document required additional work. Then it will go to the next one. So this is the how the information is flow. You can use a flow chart that can improve the quality of the product. This is also a tool. Now I am going to tell you what is the cost of the quality. The cost of the quality is the cost of conformance plus cost of non-conformance. If you combine the conformance and non-conformance, it is equal to the cost of quality, right? Conformance means delivering product that meet requirement and fitness for use. This is called conformance. Non-conformance means taking responsibility for failure or not meeting quality expectations. Once you combine these two things, then the cost of the quality will come. So cost of quality is equal to cost of conformance plus cost of non-conformance. Now I am going to discuss with you the last slide of the quality management, that is 5 cost category related to the quality. And already I discussed with you, especially for today, cost should less, quality should high. Right. Now I am going to tell you the first one: prevention cost, appraisal cost, internal failure cost, external failure cost, measurement and equipment test cost. Measurement, test, equipment cost. Cost of planning and execution a project so it is error free or within an acceptable limit. Means when you are going to start the project or any product, your company is going to make any product. So try to find what type of problem can come. If you find the solution of that, that will decrease the cost, that will prevent the cost will not exceed it. cost of planning and execution, so it is error free or within an acceptable range. It will not increase the cost. The second, appraisal cost of evaluating process and their output that must ensure the quality appraisal. Internal failure cost incurred to correct and identify defect before the customer receive the product. Before the product will go into the market and customer receive it and he said this is the problem, right? It is better you find the solution of that cost. That is called internal failure cost. External failure cost means cost that relate to all error not detected and corrected before the delivery to the customer. This is called external failure cost. Measurement and test equipment cost are called capital cost of the equipment used to perform prevention and appraisal activities. So there are some terminology, basic term that is related to the quality. If you can control this thing, then you can improve the quality of the product. Otherwise, the same thing, maybe the quality will increase, but the cost will also increase. And the challenging today is what? The cost should less. Cost should COST. Cost should less. And quality should should high. Right, student? Is there any question now? Anybody? The quality chapter is over today. Anybody, any question? Yes, student. Can you tell me the cost management, quality management belongs to how many group process? Anyone can tell the quality management belongs to how many group process? Saud Hassan, can you tell me the quality management belongs to how many group process? Quality management belongs to how many group process? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5? 3, very good. The quality management belongs to how many individual process? Anyone can tell? Individual process. The quality management belongs to how many individual process? 3. What is the quality plan? Quality assurance, quality control. How many individual? 3. And how many group? 3. Okay, very important. I am showing you. This, see this one. Planning, execution, monitor and control. These are the 3 group process. Group process. And this plan quality, assurance quality, perform quality. These are the 3 individual process. Clear or not clear? Okay, is there any question, student? Have you any doubt? Otherwise, I am going to start the risk management. Anybody, any question? Yes, any doubt, anything you want to ask? Yes, Bilal, any doubt? Okay, so I am going to start the risk management chapter. How many knowledge area already I discussed with you in a previous class? Anyone can tell? How many knowledge area? I discussed with you the first knowledge area, that is stakeholder. Then I discussed with you the scope. Then I discussed with you the cost. The fourth I discussed with you quality. How many knowledge area are there? 10. 4 of them is already completed. Right? Quality. Now I am going to discuss with you the risk management, inshallah, today. How many is remaining? Communication, procurement, HR, integration. Yes, communication, procurement, HR, integration, and one more is there. Stakeholder, time management, the most important. Time management is the most important knowledge area. There are 10 knowledge area. Time management is on the top priority. Time management and cost management is and scope management. Time and cost is on the top priority. Right? Time, cost, and scope is that. But the time will take maximum time. Time management will take maximum time. Okay. So now I'm going to start the risk management. Student, I am going to start the risk management. Risk management. You know risk management? What is the definition of the risk management? Is there any risk in the life or not? Is there any risk during the project or not? Is there any risk or not risk? This is a risk or not risk? How many project is affected by this risk? 100% project. Worldwide. Worldwide. 100% affected. Right? So I am telling you the risk management is the most important knowledge area. A manager should ready for the risk management. The agenda I am going to discuss with you, the individual process of risk management is first risk plan. Identify the risk analyze, risk response, and risk monitor and control. These are the agenda topic I am going to discuss with you today, right? So risk management, what? Risk management, why? Risk management, how? So risk, some definition I am going to tell you, then I will tell you some examples. Risk management is the process of identifying, analyzing, and responding to risk factor throughout the life of the project. We are a project or not project? Yes, we are temporary here. Our life start one day and obvious our life will finish one day, end one day. So during the start till the end, is there any risk in the life or not? You know, is there any risk or not risk? Too much risk. We are suffering from the risk. Currently, can you tell me what is the risk we are facing right now? Can you tell me? Anyone can tell? What is the risk we are facing nowadays for a long time? What is the risk? COVID-19. Yes, 100% correct. So now the most risk management is the process how you identify, because identification I am telling you. Three type of risk. There are, number one, I am going to tell you there are two type of risk, two type, TYP type of, try to understand. Number one is called known risk and another one is called unknown. How many type of risk? One is known risk, another one is unknown. What is the difference between known risk and unknown risk? The unknown risk means nobody knows when the tsunami will come. Nobody knows. When the zalzal or earthquake will come, nobody knows. Right? This type of unknown type of risk, nobody knows. Some risk is known. You know this risk. You know this risk will come. Example, I will tell you. Some risks are known risks. Suppose I am taking a panda. Example, the Panda has a lot of item for food item, bakery item, cold drinks, many things are there, right? But some item has the expiry date. You know expiry date? The same I am taking the example of banana. You know the banana is mouse, right? A hyper panda has banana. He purchased the banana 100 kilogram. And this banana will expire in how many days? In 7 days. Right? Are you getting? I am going to discuss with you the known risk. What is the known risk? I am going to tell you. You know what is the risk. The person know what is the risk. He know. He is aware. Right? He start the selling. In first 5 days, he sell 40 kg of banana with the cost of 5 Saudi riyal. In first 5 days, he sell 40. Now how much banana is remaining? 60 kilogram is remaining. So he can sell 60 kilogram in remaining 2 days. So what he will do? This is the risk. He will offer to you. What is the offer? 1 kg banana, that is equal to 2 Saudi riyal. He reduced the price. In the first 5 days, he sell the 5 riyal. But in the remaining, because he know the progress is not good. This is a risk. But this risk is called known risk. You know, you give the offer. Why the offer? Because you are aware that if I will not offer, not give the offer, I cannot consume the quantity of the banana, full quantity of the banana. So when you reduce the price, so automatically customer visit to the panda, and he is mentally prepared to purchase 2 kilogram. When he see the price is reduced, he will purchase 5 kilogram instead of 2. This is a known, but some risk nobody knows. That is called certain risk, and another one is called uncertain risk. Uncertain. So risk are two types. Okay. One more thing I am going to tell you. Risk number one is risk is the most dangerous. Number two risk is medium danger. Number two type of risk is called medium danger. Danger but medium. And the third one is called low danger, not danger. Or you can say no, not danger. Suppose if someone is suffering from the COVID-19, so this is the low danger, medium danger, or high danger. Can you tell me? If someone is suffering from the COVID-19, so he is in which category he will come? First, second, or third? Are you getting my point, student? If someone is suffering from COVID-19, so in which category he will come? The most danger category, medium danger, or low danger? If someone is suffering from the, yes, most danger. If someone is suffering just a fever, he will come in which category? Low danger. Maybe sometime if someone suffering from the headache, is come in a lower. We take the rest, sometime maybe low. So you can categorize. So identification, the meaning of the identification means how you identify. This is the danger, most danger, medium danger, or low. Then you analyze. Then you respond. If someone has a headache, so he will take the rest. No need to take the medicine. If someone like is medium, he will visit to the doctor, take the medicine. If someone in the danger, he will admit in the hospital, take the precaution, take the medicine, take the treatment under the doctor supervision. So risk management is the process of identify, analyze, and responding to the risk factor throughout the life of the project. Risk management involves control of possible future events or actions. Risk management, try to understand most important definition. Risk management, especially in the project, risk management should be a proactive. rather than reactive. Means when you start the business, when you start to make the product, when I start the classes, that time I should proactive rather than reactive. Meaning is proactive means I should prepare some plan. If the risk will come, how I will fight with the risk. That is called I am mentally prepared. If the risk will come, how I will fight with the risk. That is called proactive. I am already active. If the risk will not come, no problem. Sometimes some companies say, no, 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 I don't want to make any plan for the risk. No risk will come. If the risk will come, then they become the active. Till that day, they lost too much. They lost too much. So here is saying risk management is a proactive rather than risk. Don't say that the risk will come, then I will start this. Like you, some students say, no, 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 I will give the midterm exam. When I lose the grade, then I will start study. Otherwise, I will not study. Right? Some students say, no, 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 no. I will do well practice for the exam. I don't want to lose a single grade. They are the proactive. Some of them is reactive. Right? So this is the, here now I'm going to tell you. Risk management system are designed to identify and quantify the risk as well as predict the impact. Impact means up to what extent it is harmful for you. What is the impact? This is very dangerous, so it is very harmful of the project on the risk on the project. The outcome is therefore risk is either acceptable or not acceptable. Risk acceptable level depend on the project manager tolerance level of the risk. Up to what extent the manager can fight with the risk. If he can fight, it is tolerance. If he is unable to fight with the risk, that is called unacceptable. Now I am going to, I think the system is hanging. But just wait. Yes, students. Is clear or not clear? Are you hearing me? Sometime the system hang while I use the drawing tool, right? So I am going to discuss with you next definition. What is the definition of the risk? Definition tarif of project risk. A dictionary says, the dictionary define definition. The dictionary definition is risk is the possibilities of loss or injuries. Loss or injuries. A general definition of the project risk is an unknown or uncertain that can have a negative or positive effect on meeting the project objective. Student, one thing I would like to tell you, risk is always negative. But in some cases, in a very exceptional cases, risk is also positive. Maybe you thinking, how the risk is positive? How it is possible that the risk is the risk is possible? How it is possible? It is not possible. But in some other cases, I will tell you. The goal of the project risk management is to, just a minute, student, I am drinking the water. Okay. Now here you say a general definition of the project risk is uncertainty that can have a negative or positive effect on meeting project objective, right? The goal of project risk management is to minimize the potential negative risk while minimize negative while maximize the potential positive risk. Why positive risk is the opportunity for you. Positive risk is a good thing for you. The negative risk is not good. That is harmful for you, right? sometime I am telling you, you take lesson, you learn, take the lesson. Suppose you do mistake. When you do the mistake, then you wake up, then you repeat, then you analyze why I do this mistake. Because of this mistake, you take a lesson, you lesson learned, and you change your policies, your policy. You aware in the beginning, right? And you change the policy, right? So sometimes some risk that change your policy, that change, right? So this become the positive risk. I'm telling you the next definition. Just wait. I am going to tell you. Risk can be a positive. Positive risks are risks that result in good things happening. Sometimes it is called opportunities. Sometimes I am not aware. When something is happened for me, when I face the problem, then I wake up. Then I then I change my policy and planning. So this because of this risk, I wake up. That is why this risk is become opportunity for me. So positive risk and opportunity to the project. Positive, this is a good thing. While negative risk is a threat to project to meet out the objective. You should not avoid it, but you can enhance and get the most out of it. This is avoid and eliminate it. Negative always. Bring a positive outcomes and the result of the positive risk is successful. Bring a negative outcome and may the result is failure. Negative is always failure that create the problem. But sometimes because of the risk, I change my lifestyle. I change for my planning, and this thing become a positive for my product, for my life. Right? So this become the opportunity. Sometimes people don't care. Suppose you have given the exam of midterm. I have taken your exam and you just get this grade. Sorry, 10 like this grade you get. Right? Till the midterm you are not aware. This is the risk. You say, oh, I lose the grade too much. Then you change your plan. Then you change your lifestyle. Then you start hard working. Right? In the beginning, you take lesson learned and you change. Then you can achieve your object successfully. Because of this problem, this was the risk, but because of this risk, you change and you can achieve your objective. So there are two types of risk. One is called positive risk, another one is called negative. I'm going to tell you what is the negative risk. Negative risk involve understanding potential problem that might occur in a project, how they might delay, obstruct, impede the project success. Negative is always create a problem that you cannot reach or you cannot do this thing, right? So managing such risk involve a number of possible action that the project manager can take to avoid, lessen, change, or accept effect of the risk on their projects. This is a negative risk, positive risk. Now I am going to discuss with you the next one that is the most important. Okay, one question I am asking a student to you. Can you tell me the risk management belongs to how many group process? Anyone can tell? Risk management belongs to how many group process? Yes. Risk management belong to what? Yeah, very good, Bilal. Very good. Okay. So I am going to discuss with you the individual process. How many individual process of risk management, student? How many individual? 6. The first risk management plan is to make the plan for the risk management. Second one is identify. Third one is performing qualitative risk analysis. Fourth one performing quantity. Third one is quantitative. Fourth one is qualitative, quality, it is related to the quality. This is related to the quantity. Fifth one, risk response, and sixth one, monitor and control risk. This is the individual process of risk management. How many process? Six. So what is the first one? Planning risk management means decide how to approach and plan the risk management activity. If the risk will come during the project, how you will have you any plan, how you will approach, how will you fight with the risk. So you should maintain the plan, you should make the plan before you start the project. Second one, you identify, determine which risks are likely to affected. Affected means it is the most danger, medium danger, or low danger a project, and documenting the characteristic. What is the characteristic of COVID-19? What is the characteristic of COVID-19? What is the characteristic of a sugar patient? Sugar patient. What is the characteristic someone who is suffering from brain tumor? Is there any difference on? Yes, different type of disease, different symptoms are there, different characteristics are there, right? So now here, now the third one is called performing qualitative risk analysis, ranking the risk. Some risks are on the top priority risk. They are very dangerous. You have to take too much precautions, right? Possibility and how many time it is coming. Some risk are quantity. You maintain, numerically estimate the effect of the risk on the project objective. If you have a plan, then how you will respond to this plan, taking step to enhance the opportunity and reduce risk to meeting the project objective. If you can do it, then you are successful. Otherwise, your project is not successful. It will delay, maybe the cost will increase, maybe the quality will decrease, maybe the product will stop. Right? The monitor and control means monitoring, identify residual risk. Always the new risk is coming. Identify new risk means COVID-19. Carrying out the risk response, evaluating the and effectiveness of the risk strategy throughout the life of the projects. So there are 6 individual processes of risk management. Is clear or not clear, student? Is clear, everyone? Right? Clear? Okay. So I am telling you one more thing. Risk is the most important knowledge area. Why? Example, I am this slide I will discuss with you next class, inshallah. Right now I am going to tell you. Suppose risk play role in every KNOWLED knowledge area. How? The question is how? How? Risk play role in every. How? It. Yes, I am telling. Scope. You are not able to understand the definition. If your definition is not clear, if your definition, definition is not clear, this is risk or not risk. If you did not calculate the time accurate, this is risk or not. If the cost is not calculated accurate, risk or not risk. So risk play the role in every knowledge area. Try to understand. There are how many knowledge area? 10 knowledge area, right? But the risk play the role in every knowledge area. If you missing something in the scope, risk. If you missing something from the stakeholder, risk. If you missing something from the time, risk. If you are missing something from the cost, risk. If you are missing something from the communication, risk. If you are missing something from the integration, procurement, quality, risk are there. So risk play the role in every knowledge area, right? And risk has 2 group process. Risk 2 GROUP group process. While risk has 6 individual process. Clear or not clear? So the remaining slide, inshallah, there are not too many slides, right? So the remaining slide, I will discuss with you all the 6 individual process in the next class, inshallah. Planning risk management, then identify the risk management, then performing qualitative risk analysis, performing quantitative risk analysis, risk response, and monitor and control. We will discuss in a next class, inshallah. There are few slides remaining for the risk management. Then I will start the human resource management. Right, student? Is there any question, anything? Now any doubt? Everything is clear?